Trainee tries to trick me into doing his work, so I deleted everything.
Wow. That seems like an escalation.
Maybe an overreaction, right?
I don't know, but I am excited for the story because of this escalation. So let's hear it.
Let's see how it goes. Some context. In my current role, I'm a product engineer in an engineering team. Since I have background in industrial design and not engineering, I have lots of skills not typically found in engineers, including photography, rendering, and graphic design. Rendering specifically is something I've enjoyed and excelled at and done for a few years now. So today, I've been training someone to do 3D rendering as I'm about to leave my role at the end of the week. The rendering honestly isn't that hard to learn, but it does take a lot of practice to get really good at it. On a rare occasion, someone might have a natural eye for photography. I certainly did not. It took me some time and practice. Trying to explain this to my manager who doesn't care about photography is certainly interesting.
Yeah, when someone doesn't understand like what it takes to do art or like the creative stuff, like it's almost no use talking to them.
Exactly.
Unless they just see worse work because of the corners you've had to cut.
It's like the loop from hell because you're doing worse work and they don't even understand to like try to give feedback or help you or
exactly.
For this project, I was assigned around 30 projects to render. But since I'm leaving, this list is being transferred to the other person in this story. As the products are large machines, they do take a bit of time to get it looking perfect. Perfect. I can get everything ready in under an hour, sometimes 30 minutes, depending on the project. And at this point, it takes the trainee an entire day, if not longer. So he's literally doing something in 30 minutes that it takes the trainee over a day to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Over a day.
Like that's a pretty huge difference for getting someone up to speed. But Opie says this is fair for someone who doesn't have experience. So I've spent 3 weeks training him. He knows the software and pretty much knows what to do. It's just the practice to become efficient that he still needs. He asked me today to do one last demo from start to finish so he can watch me and take some notes. I asked him to pick a product and I'd go through it with him. He picks one on the list, but the ones he picks are often complicated. He made no effort to do any of the work to get it ready whatsoever. I had to find and get everything together for him. This was the first red flag. As I'm going through my setup, he was paying less and less attention to what he was doing, just being completely lazy. He wasn't even asking questions about my process, and most of the time was looking at his phone.
That's just rude at that point. You ask like, hey, can I learn from you? And then you don't even listen or look at, that's just rude.
And then you're just trying to get matches on Tinder.
Yeah, come on.
Bro. There's a time and place. Towards the end, I briefly ran through everything. I explained a few extra details to improve the lighting quality as well. I concluded by asking these 2 questions. Does this all make sense? And do you have any questions? He replied to those questions, yes and no, respectfully.
Okay.
I said, are you sure? Are you positive? He replied, yes.
Bro did not ask any follow-up questions.
Son,
0.
He did not understand the assignment.
Oh my goodness.
I closed the program and then proceeded to delete everything, all the work, all of the files that we had put together in front of him and told him, now it's your turn to practice.
Oh no.
He just decimated everything.
Oh God.
And then I said, you're never going to learn by just copying me. And there is an edit. To be clear.
Wait, what did I want to know what he thought or said, dude? Like what?
Dude,
that's so brutal.
Could you imagine if someone did that to you? Like they literally just walked you through everything and they're like, okay, cool, it makes sense. Great. Delete.
And I'm just watching like all the files go to trash.
Imagine you've been working on an edit for hours with somebody and they deleted it.
In front of your face.
In front of your face.
Oh, that's so rough.
The audacity to do it in front of you.
Pure audacity.
Good God. Oh, man. So there is an update. Edit. To be clear, the guy I'm training is not my manager or a manager. I just realized I could have worded that a bit better. And then the final update. I was kind of lucky that my real manager wasn't in today. Yeah, honestly, I'll say like you're deleting the file. Like that's kind of a lot. He probably would not approve of my teaching methods. But whenever I teach anyone anything, the best way in my experience is the hands-on demo first. Then I try and get them to do it under my supervision. But this guy should have been way past that point already. I had been through it with him several times.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a little brutal to just like delete the project.
Yeah.
Entirely, because it's like you already finished it, and then you're just kind of like, I guess, wasting company time maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
It seems a little harsh, but yeah, it seems. I guess it just seems like unnecessary.
It's a bit too far. He apparently already knew that he had done this, I guess, multiple times with this guy. So he should have been like, "I'll help you like get everything set up. Go."
Yeah.
And if you get too far on the wrong path, I'll nudge you back onto the
because I don't know if that's like. I think a better thing would be like, hey, you're not like, if I catch you not paying attention, like I'm not gonna keep teaching you, and I'll just give you what you have.
Boom.
Right.
Boom.
But I mean, maybe the kid learned his lesson though.
Honestly, the kid probably learned his lesson.
I just wish we knew like what his response was.
Yeah, me too.
Like, was he like,
yeah,
no?
I would definitely be pissed.
Yeah.
Although I probably would never be that like unengaged. But
yeah, I mean, like the kid sounds kind of like a twerp. But lesson learned: don't be a twerp and pay attention in class.
That's right. Do your work.
Do your work.
Mormon parents made 15-year-old daughter sign a contract in order to get a phone number because she got a job.
Seems like a little bit of helicopter parenting.
Yeah.
Or as they say in Mormon parenting book, parenting.
I thought it was going to be some like weird, like some analogy of like whatever the guy, Joseph,
I forgot his name. Joseph something.
I forgot as well.
Joseph Smith. There we
go.
The most white sounding name ever. Yeah. Good old Joe
it's
Smith.
Like the Thanos of white names. all of the gems.
All of the gems we have.
Alrighty. So, super long story short, my parents are on more of the extreme side of Mormonism.
Okay.
So much so that I, 19 female, moved out the day I turned 18. I had members from my ward, which is like their church, asking if siblings and I were okay. A few weeks ago, my sister got a job from a company owned by Mormons and is heavily, in all caps, supported by Mormons.
Okay. I wonder what the company is.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
My sisters then had enough reason to demand a phone from my parents so she could get the job. Fast forward today, and this bullshit is happening.
I mean, also just like it makes total sense to get a phone. One, maybe earlier than 14. 14 is fine too, but like
14's probably good.
Yeah, I think that's when I really got my phone. Maybe a year or two younger.
Yeah.
But you need a phone if you're gonna be working.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair that's a fair thing to want as a parent. I don't know exactly how it went down. Because of me being an ex-Mormon, I'm not allowed to talk to my siblings that much. Jeez.
So,
yeah, that's a lot. But I do know that she wasn't allowed to disagree at all with anything or the deal was off. This is actually pretty tame compared to what it was like growing up. Mom threatened to have the pantry padlocked.
The pantry? Wow.
So I guess like basically you don't get any food.
What?
That's pretty insane. Wow. My sister got an infection for not getting any medication.
Because they're like anti-medication, anti-medicine.
Yeah. At some rate, whether it was a punishment or otherwise, it seems like they did not deliver the meds. And I was told I'd be pulled out of school and college if I didn't conform to the religion and to their practices. We've dealt with racism, sexism, anti-vax, anti-gay, and so much more. Dang, that's like the laundry list of oppression.
Oh my God. Not a fun laundry list.
Not a fun laundry list. I have a ton of stories I can share. I just thought this one was a good eye roll and laugh. Back to the contract. I agree with some of the rules. I just think it's really weird to make a whole ass contract. Side note, not nearly as severe, but my dad used to make like contracts for us. Like, I will sweep my room on Wednesdays and Fridays and like make a sign.
My dad did the same thing. We had like contracts that he would write up and I would have to sign, or like I used to have to, like if I ever got in trouble, I would have to write like an essay on why I shouldn't do it again. I remember I accidentally like made a bomb and it blew up in my sister's hand. And
you accidentally made a bomb?
Yeah. So
please explain.
So, you know, like if you put dry ice in a water bottle and mix it with water, it will make the bottle explode.
Oh, okay.
And so Christian and I, when we were like, I don't know, like 13 or 12 or something, we put dry ice in the water bottle and tossed it into the middle of the street to, make it explode.
Right.
My sister comes out at that time and she goes over and she's like, I don't know, 7 or something. And she goes and she's like we're waiting for it to explode, but it's not exploding. And Sophia's like, oh, I'm going to go up and like shake it. And I'm like, Sophia, do not go up and shake it. And she keeps walking towards, and I'm like, Sophia, stop right now. And she gets over that, picks it up. And right when she picks it up, it explodes in her hand. Luckily, it wasn't a glass water bottle because that shrapnel would have not been good.
Oh, geez, dude.
But anyway, I had to write a paper about why I should not make bombs and throw it into the street.
That one's not your fault. That one's not your fault. Did it actually like hurt her in any way, or was just kind of like?
No, I mean, it hurt her eardrum a bit. But how she tells it, which is such BS, and she adheres to the story to this day. Christian and I were making a bomb in the backyard,
right,
or in the front yard. And we toss it into the street, and that there was a car coming, and she needed to move the water bottle away from the car so it wouldn't hurt the car. And that doesn't make any sense.
Oh my God.
Because one, it was in the gutter, like, right. So like it we threw it in the street and it rolled to the gutter. Not like inside, but it was like
right next to it.
Right. Yeah. Right next to the curb. And so that doesn't make any sense. And like, what you're just going to like, where are you going to put it? Where are you going to put this? There was no reason for you to pick that up. Even if it's going to blow up on a car and the driver's going to get like a little spooked or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm Team Sam on this one.
Yeah. So anyway, I had to write an essay about that. Well, actually, Christian and I both had to write. One of my friends, Christian, who's my roommate now, we both had to write the essay together. But Christian did not contribute because group projects suck.
That's right. We know about those.
Yeah. So I had to write the whole paper myself.
Wow. Well, that sucks.
Actually, I don't even know if I wrote that paper, but I know it was assigned.
It was assigned.
I don't know if there's a due date.
Yeah. Maybe you could turn it in like next time you see it.
Yeah. Dad, I have something for you. I know it's a little late, like by 10 years.
Back to OP's contract. So OP says, I just thought it was really weird to make a whole ass contract. Not as weird as you think.
No, it happens.
It happens to other people.
Maybe it's like a white people thing.
Then maybe that definitely could be.
That sounds like something like we would be made fun of on like Twitter's like definitely. White people have their kids signing contracts. Right? Getting them ready for the work in the world.
Absolutely. Did you ever drink? Slight short side note. Did you ever eat spaghetti with milk?
No. What?
That was another thing on a podcast that they discovered that white people did, which I also definitely ate spaghetti and milk at one point. For sure.
What?
Did you not just eat like drink milk at dinner and then just one day you happened to be served spaghetti and you had spaghetti and milk?
No, I drank milk and I have eaten spaghetti. I was a big milk drinker, so I drink milk all the time.
And you didn't drink milk and eat spaghetti?
No.
Wow.
I even felt weird about putting milk in oatmeal.
Really?
Yeah, milk is for cereal and for drinking.
All right, those are. I agree. I agree. It's weird, but I did it. So
is it good?
I mean, I guess I don't even drink. I don't know the last time I've had like straight milk. You know what I mean?
I'll only have that gay milk now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So once again, back to this contract. There were things on it like I will not look up porn. I will not receive naked photographs. When I am 14 years old. I mean, yeah, that's, I mean, you don't want your kid doing that, but it's almost like, that's almost an age where it's like weird to like you bringing it up.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I think I would tell my kids not to send or receive nudes.
Not to send. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. The contract maybe is the toe over the line.
Yeah, the contract is weird. I think I would also say like generally like I think something that a belief I hold in general is that like you should always try to avoid cheap dopamine. And so like cheap dopamine in the form of like drugs is like, you know, if you're doing coke, right, getting a dopamine high, but it's cheap. It's not like it's not built on anything.
It's not substantial. There's no substance there.
And I think same with porn, right? There's no substance behind the dopamine. And so you're rewarding your brain for an action that actually doesn't like lead to your happiness. And so I think that generally cheap dopamine should be avoided. And so I think I would tell my kids like from that perspective.
That is a fantastic lesson. I pray your teenager will receive that the way that I am. Like cheap dopamine, like, fuck you, Dad. I'm sending nudes.
I'm jacking off right now.
Oh, And I can add friends to the phone, but they may not be of the opposite sexual orientation, but they meant gender.
I mean, that's dumb.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's too far.
What if you're working with someone who's male?
Exactly. I need to say, oh no, I can't add you. It's like,
bro, we work together. It's like those. I don't know if you've ever seen those text conversations where it's like, hey, how's it going? And then the person says, I have a boyfriend. And then they're like, cool. So this is what you're going to be doing for the group project.
Although I will say, as someone being in a committed relationship, sometimes when you're covering your bases, you do overstep a little bit by accident.
I'm just imagining when like John goes out anywhere, as soon as like any girl touches, I have a girlfriend.
Yeah, literally, that'll be like $9.49. I have a girlfriend.
I don't have to pay. Bye.
All right, guys, we will finish this story. I promise you. And they would go through the phones whenever they want, even when I was almost 18. If she violates any of the 22 rules, she loses the phone.
There's 22 rules?
22 rules, sir. This is a contract.
Oh my God.
22 line items.
Oh my God.
If you have any red lines, talk to my lawyer. And anytime she like messes up any of these 22 rules, she loses more and more phone time. If it happens a fourth time, she loses it permanently, and they will send her to a very bad therapist. I can't imagine like a therapist that's like doing all of these like toxic things, just like you texted a male coworker.
How dare you?
I don't want anyone thinking she's a bad kid. She's absolutely not. She's actually very, very good. She's on the straight and narrow, nice to everyone, and is just trying to get through life with our parents. Now that I've escaped my parents, I know they will never change since everything has gotten worse in different ways. I just want my siblings to be able to get through everything with as little damage as possible.
I mean, OP seems like a great big sister.
Definitely.
The contract is a bit much.
Yes.
Definitely a bit much. I mean, some of them, I think are good rules in general. Don't send or receive.
For sure. That's definitely advice that parents should give.
Yeah, unless you're starting your OnlyFans and it's a business.
Oh, good God. Jesus Christ.
That's like gonna be the new parenting. It's like, don't send or receive news unless you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to sell your body for money on
above 18.
Above 18.
Above 18.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah,
that's why it was so weird.
Yeah, no, sorry, not a 14.
To clarify,
I'm talking about the
Samuel Donner does not endorse your 14-year-old daughter's starting an OnlyFans.
No, 18.
See ya.